Okay, so fun fact about Jaclyn. She's from, a smaller town out of the city, and I was driving back from London, Ontario this morning, and I passed your little town. I, saw the sign.
To Caledonia?
Yeah, and then I was like, that song, I saw a sign, and I literally was like, oh my God, it's Jaclyn's home.
One day we need to do a proper...
Well, I've never gone there with you.
I know, I need to bring you one day so you can experience my true roots.
All right.
Love me some Caledonia.
Let's roll the intro.
Well, welcome back to Poddy Talk,
the podcast where we should talk ourselves.
I'm Jac.
And I'm Tor.
And today we have one big, bold question to answer. Am I the asshole? So I found this thread on Reddit. I was gonna say TikTok. I see where my brain's been.
Yeah.
So I started following this Twitter account that kind of highlights some of the top posts, and it basically, users will submit a story kind of being like, yo, who's the asshole here? Am I the asshole or are they the asshole?
Right.
And I find it really interesting because then you get to hear a diverse range of opinions of people being like, no, you're totally in the wrong, where other people are like, dude, that's totally you. So it's nice to see kind of how different people think, and I just love getting fed a question every day, and I kind of, it makes me be a critical thinker with the information given.
True.
Who is the asshole?
True.
So I think, although we are very similar, I think at our core, I think we do sometimes, treat situations differently. So I thought it would be interesting to hear our perspectives, and we can determine who is the asshole.
Who the asshole is in the end.
Are you game?
Yes. I also think, yeah, that's true, because I can be more harsh than you. So I'm usually on the side of the asshole doing the assholeness
That's not always true.
As opposed to accepting.
That's not always true. Okay, so I just flagged a few ones here, but we can also get a little crazy and just start scrolling through.
Okay.
Okay. Am I the asshole for photoshopping my sister's tattoo out of our wedding photo? Recently, I got married, and due to obvious reasons, it was a small family wedding outside. We didn't hire a professional photographer, so I ended up taking on the bulk of the photo editing. My sister, who was the maid of honor, has a tattoo on her arm of the two godparents from Fairly Odd Parents 69ing. She has many other tattoos that are more normal, but this one is super weird, and I didn't want it in my wedding photos. I previously asked her to cover it up, but she refused to, so I photoshopped it out of all the pictures. I didn't photoshop out her other tattoos because they weren't as disturbing. She says that this was disrespectful and uptight of me, but I think it's okay to not want that tattoo in your wedding pics. So, who's the asshole?
I would also Photoshop, so...
Really?
I think that the sister is a bit of an asshole. It's it's your one day in your life where you're asking for a small bit of, do it my way,
Okay, but listen, that's part of her body, that's her. It's like, I wouldn't invite someone to my wedding and say, hey, you've got to, dye your hair blonde for the pictures. Or I wouldn't say, oh, you have to get a spray tan.
But I think that's different.
But a tattoo is a part of her.
Yeah, but the Fairly Odd Parents 69ing, a part of her that we don't all need to see in that moment.
The one caveat, I think I would normally say, you are the asshole if you ask someone to cover up their tattoos because you just want no tattoos in your photos. That's your guess. You shouldn't invite them then if you don't want them for who they are.
No, it's her sister, and you're asking for one favor. You're saying, I love you as my sister. You have this really one tattoo I'm not aligned with. Can you just please?
Okay, you didn't let me get there though, because I was going to say the caveat for this situation is the fact that it is pornographic. If it's disturbing or pornographic or something, you're like, hey, I don't want that to be at the forefront
of my wedding. And just uncomfortable. It's a wedding day. Let it be classy.
I think that's maybe that's the only reason why I'm like, okay, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I guess it's she didn't make her put makeup on and cover it up for the day, but for the final photos that she wanted to present to the world, she photoshopped them out. But then also it's I don't know, maybe this is the only situation that I'm like, it's okay, because if it was any other situation, it's just oh, I didn't like their sleeve of tattoos, so I photoshopped them out. I think that's not okay. So it's weird.
I don't know. The tattoo thing is hard because I also think realistically in certain situations, tattoos are just not it. It's just the same reason why a lot of actors won't get tattoos is because, it's something that's so in your face, and maybe acting is different because maybe it's not aligned with your character or whatever, but to that same point in an image, in a photo, it just maybe is not the move. It's her wedding day, she's asking for one small little bit of
that's the thing.
Support.
I could see if it was an actual situation where say it was your wedding, you're like, hey Jack, can you just cover up your tattoo? If it was your wedding, I'd be like, yeah, dude, no problem. I think on a human level I would, but I can see how that's
offensive.
Kind of.
Well, then don't get that tattooed on your body. That's offensive. That's a cray-cray.
But I don't know. It's how could you invite someone to their wedding?
Where was it?
I don't know. It didn't say. Kind of hilarious. The fact that that's their tattoo. Incredible. So I can get it in that situation, but it comes to the core question of, do you just love someone or accept them for who they are, whether they're, because it's like in any other situation, you think it's solely to do with appearance. If it was, hey, can you lose 15 pounds to be in my wedding photo? It's like, bro, no way. That is like for sure horrible to ask someone.
Right.
If it was, hey, can you get a spray tan? I think that's even crossing a line. Like you shouldn't ask someone to alter their appearance so they look like the aesthetic that you want. It's like, I get you're in control of yourself, but that's unfair to almost put that on other people. I just don't think I would ever do that, but it's like a weird situation.
Either, but on the flip side, and I don't even know that I stand on either side here, but I just think on the flip side of that is the part that it's her wedding day is what makes it an interesting angle, because
she's paying for the experience.
She's paying for the experience. It's one day in your entire life where you really can be the boss.
And you cannot have the fairly godparents.
Yeah, like you really are the boss, and you're like, hey, I'm, not only financing this day, but I'm also trying to make it as special as possible for me. So it's like the same reason why a bridesmaid will wear the color that the bride wants. It's the same mentality. It's like, I might hate yellow, but my best friend might say, hey, we're all wearing yellow, and I just take a bullet and I wear yellow.
A little different, but I get what that's what I'm saying. I don't know where I stand either. It does feel somewhat wrong, but the fact that it's pornographic artwork is maybe what makes it like,
and it's just one day. It's like one day, and it's her sister. So it's like, I think if I was the sister and I had, a piercing in a wrong place or something that was not like of aesthetic to my sister.
Also with piercings?
Yeah, like I would just take it out. Like they were like, oh, like can you maybe not?
I don't know. That kind of sits wrong with me.
Because maybe it's just because I don't take it so personally. It's like I don't really like if someone wanted to. Oh, that just ripped.
Did you just rip your jeans?
Even more.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
It's not that I would take it personally if someone asked me. It's just I don't think I would ever feel comfortable asking someone else to alter their appearance to suit my preferences.
For sure.
No. Like that's what seems weird about it. Not
right.
If you came up to me like, Jack, like I wouldn't be offended being on the receiving end of it. Like,
yeah,
I get it.
I guess that's what I mean.
I just can never ask someone that. That just feels so.
But that's what I'm saying. They do. Like, brides will be like, oh, everyone wear red nail polish. I know that's like a simple thing.
Sure.
But I think we're already doing that on such a micro level.
Exactly. Where's the line?
Yeah, we're already adjusting everyone to fit an aesthetic on the wedding day. So it's like, then just where is that line of how much are we going to adjust the aesthetic,
It is so interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just like not at that like phase yet, so I don't get it. But yeah, I do hear that because I was even talking to a friend who's going to be in a wedding soon.
Yeah.
And it was a not similar situation, but the same idea that they had a hair and makeup artist who's getting hired, and my friend is very particular about that and doesn't want this person that they've never met before. Right. They also have like quite a lot of freckles. They don't know if a makeup art, like sometimes she doesn't like wearing a full face of foundation because then it gets rid of all her freckles, and she's got specific coloring, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, I don't want someone who's never met me before and never done my makeup to do my makeup, and then she also has a ton of hair, so it's kind of like hard, and the person wanted them to all get their hair done the same way. She's like, that's not gonna work for my hair type, like,
right.
So it's one of those weird things, and the person keeps insisting, and you're like, I'm not trying to like, it's no offense to you, but and the thing is, if I was having a wedding, I would want all my guests to be 100% comfortable, and I wouldn't want to make them be uncomfortable, whether in their appearance, in the makeup they're in, even in the dress. So it's kind of like that.
I know, it's a hard line.
You don't know how to, and especially too, if it's like a wedding, you're not trying to like offend your sister-in-law or your soon-to-be whatever family.
And that's why you just shouldn't get married, kids. Avoid all the drama.
The answer is everyone's kind of the asshole.
Yeah,
here.
I think on a wedding day, everyone's the asshole. I'm gonna land there. That's my belief system.
Okay, do you want to read the next one?
Sure.
Here, that's another one that was saved.
Whoa, how do I even...
Sorry, you can click on it. It's just like screenshotted from Reddit.
What's Aita?
Am I the asshole?
Oh.
Aita!
Am I the asshole for not telling someone I can read lips? That's really interesting. Okay. I'm actually really good. This is on a total separate note, but I'm very good at reading lips and body language. And
really?
Yeah, and actually in a recent situation, which I will not disclose, I was very aware that these girls were like talking about me, but they just like didn't think I understood. Like they didn't realize that I was so aware, if that makes sense.
Like right in front of you?
Or like around sort of, like around, but like I was in a conversation, but I'm also very distractible. And so I was, in this conversation, but then barely listening to the guy that I was actually talking to, and so aware of the girls in the corner.
You're kind of like tuned into that instead.
Yeah, and so like my tuning in, and I'm like literally seeing them like whisper, fuck it. You can just tell by body language. You can tell by so many different little triggers. So just
well, I also
be
just
better.
Hate the idea, exactly. I
Don't
hate
do
the
that.
idea that it's getting spun around on the person being talked about. It's
Right.
like, no, you're the asshole for being a bitch in front
public,
of that person.
or just like in public.
Yeah.
It's like, go home. Like, it's just so
It's like,
weird.
also, how do you go to the person and say, how dare you read my lips? Like, I'm sorry, that is,
That's
they are
so
the
whack.
asshole.
Yeah.
They are clearly the asshole.
Also,
But this is what I'm saying is interesting. You read the replies to it, and some people think opposite ways.
yeah, that's what I don't. That's why I can't engage with social media on that level.
But
Because
that's what I find fascinating, though, because it's like everyone can be given the exact same information, the same story, and
then it's like, how do you feel?
Exactly.
Or
And then
what would you
everyone's
do?
perspectives are different on it, or reactions, whether it's based on previous experiences or what.
Of course.
It's crazy that some people can be like, yeah, they're the asshole for reading the lips. It's like, So.
Where did you grow up?
Well, this is the thing. It's like, yeah, someone said, I'm a little surprised anyone didn't tell you about your hearing loss. I'm a little surprised anyone you tell about your hearing loss doesn't automatically assume that you're a more competent lip reader. Exactly. You would assume that those kind of go hand in hand, right?
Of course.
LOL. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Am I the asshole for getting a waitress fired from her job because she left me her phone number? I, 20 male, went to dinner with my family, parents are in their 50s, right before lockdown. Anyways, there was a fairly attractive waitress, looked to be about in her 20s, serving us. Afterward, she left her phone number for me with a smiley face saying she found me cute. For several reasons, I was quite irritated by this. First and foremost, my parents teased me about this, which made me feel uncomfortable. Secondly, it seemed very unprofessional and personal. I'm a customer and she's the server. She doesn't know me and this was a very forward thing to do. Ideally, I just like to have my food without any issues. So after finishing, I asked to speak to the manager and filed a complaint.
Oh.
I checked on Facebook for the page of the restaurant and I saw someone left a bad review for the place. Lo and behold, it was her. She had gotten fired. My sister said I was the asshole for doing this, but I think I was well within my rights. Am I the asshole?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is so clear cut for me.
That's so clear cut for me. Bro, you're an asshole. She's being friendly and putting a number down and like, whatever. She's
Well,
not
it
coming
seems like-
in your space.
well-
Why are you acting like she's the server? I'm better than you.
Well, that's the thing. I
hit on
don't
me.
like that approach. Being like, well, they're a server. They can just do their job. And
I
I don't.
know.
It's like, bro, it seems like you actually have more of a problem with the relationship with your parents because he seemed quite offended that his parents were making fun of him or teasing him for it. Okay, address that first. Second of all, it is
Guys-
totally. And I think actually it's probably preferable if that waitress did want to say, hey, like, I think you're cute. Like, we seem
Yeah.
the same age kind of thing. Wanted to say hello. It's much more comfortable to just write a little note on a receipt, which that man could have just not addressed and thrown out.
Yeah, he could have just been like, okay, not
was-
my type. I'm
exactly.
moving on. Yeah.
It would have been way more forward for her to make a whole scene at a restaurant. Like, I think that's totally reasonable. And also, not to make this necessarily like a male versus female thing, but it's like the shit that I feel like females have to deal with
I
with
know.
men being forward.
I know.
That is like the most respectful way to say, hey, I'm interested. If you
Totally.
are, shoot me a text.
Right, and like what is possibly wrong in this generation where it's hard to meet someone if you see a cute guy, even if you are their waiter and you're just like, oh, hey, if you're
And-
interested, like,
And
here's my
doing
number.
it at the end of like your dinner service
Yeah,
and with a receipt.
it's not like you're like
It's not like the
peering
first
over
thing
with your boobs
exactly.
and trying to like insert yourself.
No,
in a
I
different
totally
way.
think they're the asshole. And it's also like, if you
Ew.
also had a problem with it, I think you should say, hey, ma'am, just so you know, like, I'm not comfortable. Thanks for the note. Like, if you wanted to say something, talk to her directly.
I
Don't
hate
get her
guys like
fired.
that.
Don't get her fired. That is crazy to me.
And just the whole way he wrote it too, like, I'm well within my rights. It's like, ew.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
whatever. She was just like trying to be nice to you.
Okay, do you want to pick another one here? There's a few more saved. Oh, this is I think you'll appreciate that one.
Okay.
I skimmed that before we got here.
Am I the asshole for addressing my uncle, who is the same age as me, as my uncle on social media, on a social media post, and embarrassing him?
You can click that.
Okay, so I, 17 years old, female, and my uncle, 17-year-old male. Wait, that
So
her
it'd be like-
uncle is 17?
Okay, so listen, it would be like if your grandpa had a kid again right now.
Oh.
Or like had a kid at the same time you were born.
Yeah, okay. I've never viewed him as an uncle since he's the same age as me.
Which I get.
Yeah. Now, the little shift the little shit. Now the little shit finds it hilarious to address me as niece whenever we meet and insists that I call him uncle. I mean, that's just kind of weird.
I know.
That's just ew. Family is very meh about it, but mostly on his side. You address your other uncles as uncles, why not him? He's your grandfather's son as well. He deserves that title from you just as much as Uncle X, Y, and Z do. Except uncles X, Y, and Z are all around my mother's age, so 20 to 30 years older than me. Not the same age. He really put on the waterworks the last time, and now I'm really the asshole for making him feel left out by not calling him uncle and not responding when he says niece. I don't respond.
Could you imagine?
I've been disinvited from a few family gatherings because I refuse to bow down. Well, in order to get on my family's good side, I posted a family pic taken on my birthday. In the caption, I said, thank you to my aunties, XYZ, and uncles, XYZ, except this time I put him as an uncle. I thought this would tide them over since captioning him as an uncle is easier for me than calling him uncle to his face. My close friends know my family dynamic, but the people I don't really know well, they genuinely thought we were cousins of some sort. What? When I put him as uncle, people kind of went crazy. At first they kept saying, I accidentally put him as uncle, and then I didn't reply. He started getting messages like, oh my god, is OP really your niece? And so OP's grandpa is your dad? All of your siblings are in their 40s. I hate the way these people have written these. I find it annoying. Yeah, I basically blew up his entire friend group with that one pic. He's not talking to me and is really pissed. Am I the asshole?
Who do you think's the asshole?
I think the cousin is so confused. First of all, why do you even care? I have to ask.
Well, it's like this weird power trip, like, call me uncle. It's like, who cares? Like,
it's just, this is the thing. There are many things in life that should be discussed.
Yeah, pick your battles.
Why do you care if someone calls you auntie or uncle or not?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of understand someone being like, hey, they're all your uncles, like, but it sounds like this guy's being a bit of like an asshole about it.
Or
and just
also
like,
just like being weird. It's like, do you want to feel that power trip over her?
Same.
Like,
but then it's also like, okay, so they finally say, this is my uncle, and now they have a little waterworks
hissy
show.
fit, yeah.
Because you did what they asked. You wanted me to call you uncle, now I did, and now you realize your friends are making fun of you for it.
This does seem like the problem of a 17-year-old.
Exactly, a 17-year-old wanted to be called uncle.
But it's just like,
but then then having a hissy fit over it, it's like, yo, they did what you wanted. You can't cry over it now, uncle. Uncle is the asshole.
I'm sorry.
And the family for kind of egging that on. It's like, again, yeah.
Also, just like, what family spends that amount of time discussing that? Like, who cares? Like, I have great aunts. I'm not sitting there being like, great aunt. I'm just like, yo, it's fucking Norma. This is it. Like, it's just like, you know the name. Like, just do it. Don't get caught up on it. Like, you don't even call your grandparents. You're not like, hello, grandfather. Like, everyone has nicknames. Everyone has their own little thing. It's like, just let it live.
And I also think, too, there's one thing, if something's coming from a genuine place, I'm like, hey, just, when you call me that, it bothers me, or when you don't call me that, it offends me. It sounds like this person was just kind of, what's the word? What's called when someone, like, kind of provokes you?
Taunting you.
Taunting, that's the word. Thank you.
Yeah.
It sounds like this guy's taunting him over something so dumb. It's like, hey, I'm obviously not going to do what you want because you're being annoying about it.
Right.
Okay. We have another one here. This is an animal question, which I feel like we might have differing opinions because you are such an animal person and I'm scared of animals. Although I love them from afar, let's be clear. Am I the asshole for telling my roommate to leave my dog alone? I have how do I pronounce that dog breed?
Canary
Mastiff? Mm-hmm. Okay. I have a Canary Mastiff, Tubbs. He's a big guy.
Aw, Tubbs! We love it.
He's a big guy, and I got him because he fits me. I want a dog that will be a guard dog, intimidating to protect against intruders.
Right.
He's not a puppy and he's not a lap dog.
Okay.
I don't baby talk him or treat him like a little child. I feed him home cooked meals with fresh meat every day.
Oh, Jesus.
Take him on walks and runs all the time. Give him toys to play with for designated playtimes, but it's usually a practical toy, not a teddy bear. The point is, I take care of him and treat him like a respected adult, like I'm hanging out with another man. But Tubbs. But my roommate Anne thinks that he's just a big teddy bear. She's always petting him and giving him kisses, baby talking him, getting him stuffed animals, etc. I've asked her to stop because I don't want Tubbs becoming so friendly that he will become nullified as a guard dog. That if she wants to baby talk a dog, she should get her own, and I want to treat mine like he's competent. Anne agreed, but I would still catch her sometimes baby talking him. The other day, I went to get some groceries. I came back and saw that she had him on her bed watching movies like they were having some sleepover. So I called Tubbs to me and told Anne to leave him alone. He's not her dog and she needs to get her own. She started crying, and for the last couple of days, she doesn't want to talk to me. He's my dog and I want him raised my way. Is this such a terrible request? Am I the asshole?
I just firstly must say, these people have far too much time on their hands.
And the fact that they also type this out on Reddit to get opinions.
It's like,
I feel bad for Tubbs, I'm gonna be honest. I feel bad for Tubbs.
Tubbs is probably sitting there being like, my owner's literally insane.
I mean, they didn't say if they were. Did they say if they were a male or female? I had assumed that the poster was a male, just from the vibe of this. It sounds like they have some like.
Oh, I
toxic...
thought that was a woman.
Oh, did you?
Interesting
Perspective.
Yeah.
See, I just had assumed that it was.
I thought it was a woman because she was saying my roommate and, so it's like you would just assume it'd be two girls as roommates, but that again could just be an assumption.
I don't know. Maybe, does that change it? Because I was thinking, oh, it sounds like this roommate has like a toxic masculinity complex of like, I need my dog to be a man and like he can't be pet, he can't be like loved. It's like, why are you so afraid of your dog being loved? If anything, that'll make your dog a better dog. Like, I don't like.
Also, just like, who is that protective over? Like, just settle down. Like, your priorities are all
totally.
wrong.
It's like, I get if Anne was hurting your dog, of course.
Yeah, but
she's
Anne
literally
is loving
just
your dog, chatting with your dog, and also trying to find companionship. What is wrong with that?
I think
they're both assholes. I think Tubbs need to be set free.
I don't think Anne's an asshole. I think she was. I mean, it's a fine line. It's hard though. It's an animal. So you can't just say, it's different if you're a roommate and you're like, hey, don't touch my food in the fridge.
Right.
An animal's an animal. They're going to come up to you. You want to pet them.
Totally.
You can't just ignore it.
No, I don't think Anne's an asshole, but I do think this situation is asinine. How about that?
Okay.
Ridiculous. Tubbs needs to be set free.
Tubbs needs to be set free. Okay.
I don't know if I like this game, if I'm honest.
Why? Because you think everyone's an asshole?
Yeah, I think actually I hate it all. I think I hate everyone's comments. I hate all the fucking. I hate it.
I think there's a certain point of life, and I guess it maybe just depends on your personality type, or I guess how close to the final straw you are doing in life. Yeah,
but
it does
I'm
seem
close.
like there's
it feels
so many.
Like I'm close.
Shut up.
When I hear these stories, I feel like I'm close because I sit here and I say, really? This is the issue? That this is why we have so many other larger issues in the world, because people are here yelling about Tubbs. It's
I think there's so many times in my life where there will be a situation that it all depends on your reaction, right?
Yeah.
Everyone can be given, the same situation, and you can choose to, it's not always just being the bigger person, but it's also like, picking your battles. Is it worth the energy?
Right.
Or if you're really upset about something, how do you have a mature conversation or restructure it to get the result that you want and have a positive interaction? Like, there's something that I don't like about the idea of you're so upset and then you stew and then you go on the internet just to get people to be like, yeah, you're good, you're bad. But it is also interesting to see how much see what bothers people. I just find people fascinating, so it's interesting to see, that's their biggest issue right now. Tubbs is getting too much love.
That's the interesting thing. It's like, I don't think I would ever, if I really had done someone dirty, I don't think I would publicly go to a forum to be like, am I an asshole? I maybe would discuss it in private with friends or family, just being like, am I an asshole?
But then again, this is, if I'm gonna play devil's advocate, in some ways I think maybe it probably is nice to go to a thread that might be unbiased / no one even knows who you are.
Unbiased.
So then you do have a diverse group of opinions saying like, yeah, you are, and maybe gives you a new perspective, because oftentimes you can see people reply back and the original poster will get back in and be like,
and friends are obviously always try and support you and lay down the, they might tell you straight up. Actually, literally, this was with the story. My friend literally goes, you can tell this on Poddy. I'm like, great, thanks for the permission. I will tell the story.
What is this?
So I won't name names, but anyways, I have this close friend of mine. We were at a barbecue recently, and she just blew up at her roommate. To be fair, it is a global pandemic, and they didn't want a certain amount of people in the backyard, and we were trying to keep it tight knit. We were trying to follow all the parameters and not have more than 10 people and make sure that we were being respectful. Again, we're outside, so there is a bit of leniency, but still, we're gonna follow all the protocols. So anyways, my friend was in the position of, no, we're not gonna allow more people to come to this barbecue. We're gonna close it down and this is it.
I think that's valid.
Which I completely, before she had even said to the other guest that asked to have more friends over, she was like, can I invite a few more people? And I didn't even live there, and I was like, no. I had already tuned in and basically said, please, no, we're gonna keep it tight knit. The girl
I also think it's something about the pandemic. This is the one time where it's you can't, I think peer pressuring people into doing things, it's a valid time right now to be I'm not comfortable, my health is priority.
No,
so I think
absolutely.
You're totally in the right to be no more people, don't invite strangers that I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, this is not a typical summer barbecue. Of course, in any other situation, we would have been invite your friends. It's not that we're trying to be exclusive or whatever,
not at all.
But there are rules, and we are going to follow them the best that we possibly can. So anyways, my friend kind of walks away from the situation because her roommate sort of shot a dagger back at her and was mad that she couldn't have more friends. So my friend leaves the situation and she goes to sit on the front porch, and I'm kind of like, all right, we're like already having fun. Let's just like put this behind us. So I'm like alerting her from my Apple Watch from the party, like from the backyard, just being like,
you on the walkie on the Apple Watch?
Like Kim Possible vibes, yo, come back. Like, let's not like make this more complicated than it is. We've told her no more people can come. Let's move on type thing, whatever. We were like in the middle of barbecuing food. Like it was like, you know, so then she responds and I'm like getting alerted and she's like, no, come to the porch. And
so
I'm like,
your backyard, or you're left in the backyard with the roommates now alone?
Yes. So I'm in the backyard. So then I see the girl drama ensue in the sense that the roommates now collectively run to the corner, classic girl vibes, and start, you know, talking about my friend who has like left the situation because she was pissed.
Yeah, that's...
So they run to the corner and they're like having their little girl moment. And which, like, I just hate that energy in general. Like, I'm just standing there like, really, guys? Like, you can't...
Well, it's just a maturity thing. It's like, if you've got something to say, they're right, you know, they're right
That's
over
what I'm
there.
saying.
Like, just lay it out. Yo, this hurt my feelings because I want my
Totally.
friends over. Well, guess what? It's Corona.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Like,
no.
totally valid reasons.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I then escape and go to the porch to get my friend, and I was like, dude, whatever. Like, let's just roll back. Like, it's fine. We'll just eat food. It's gonna be chill. But, like, she is the personality at this point where she's, like, not down. Like, she's just...
Night is ruined.
Yeah, like, it's just,
Done.
like, completely not in a position of like...
Recovery?
Yeah, sort of.
No
like,
healing?
No healing, and then also no, like, charity given in the conversation. It was very much like, my way is now, I'm pissed.
Or, as the Reddit thread would say,
Am
they
I-
are the asshole.
Right. Who is the asshole in this situation? This is actually a great example.
It's perfect.
So-
So in her head, they are the asshole.
In her head, she's like, they are the assholes. They had already been sitting on a patio that day. They had already, like, seen people outside of their circle. Like, there was
so
already
already
some,
being
like,
a little hazardous.
flex. Yeah, like, there was already flexibility within the group. The neighbors had friends over from Ireland. Loved them. We were chatting. And so I was like, just... who cares at this
Yeah.
point? Like, everyone has made certain, you know...
Are you siding with your friend, or are you kind of trying to, like, mediate?
Well, I was on my friend's side, and I was more on her side when I saw them run to the corner. Because, of course, I will discuss with... Like, I told my friend as soon as I went back to the porch, I was like, bro, like, they just ran to the corner to basically talk shit about you. Like, I hate that energy.
Yeah, that's
And
just not...
that
Also,
obviously...
like, how old
And
were
to
we?
be fair, like, that was me being like, flame fire? Yay!
By the way, they're talking shit.
So, like, I did disclose that, but at the same time, they aren't my friends. She's my friend.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm wearing on her side of the loyalty, if that makes sense.
of course.
So by the time we get to the backyard, she's just like fuming. Like she
Fire
is just
out the ears.
mad. She is mad. So then she like steps forward and she kind of, you know, like earrings out, kind of like ready to fight, and was literally in a screaming match with her roommate in the backyard.
I have never been in a situation where I'm like, I'm gonna fight. Like,
Yeah, no, it
that's
was
crazy.
wild. Like she was screaming.
Did
The
they actually
roommate
throw
was
punches?
screaming. No, they were on opposite sides. Thank God there was like a beer pong table in between them that was keeping everyone at a safe distance. But
Were they sober?
no. So I mean that plays
That
into it too.
might be the problem
yeah.
as well.
So then, yeah, I mean basically
Earrings out. That is like, you know, when it's getting real. You're like,
that was
I'm
just
taking-
like the vibe. Like she didn't actually physically take them out, but you could just tell like she
Oh,
was like
I thought she
stepping
actually
forward and
did.
like no, but just like you know that like just
Yeah.
energy, like just
Right, she
angry,
was
angry
ready to go.
energy. So anyways, they like literally screamed at each other. The roommate starts crying. My friend is like standing her ground. But I guess it goes back to the original question, like, who is the asshole here? And then it wasn't until the next day and like a few other more dramatics played out into that evening. And I went home and whatever. But then the next day we were having a phone call and I was like, bro, like I will be honest as a friend. Like I think you were a bit of an asshole in that situation. Like we were in a chill barbecue setting. We had neighbors
didn't need
over.
to go to that level.
The way you handled it was just like absolutely insane. Like it's just
Yeah.
like you're old enough to know that like there's a better way to go about it, which like she obviously understood, and like yes, alcohol played a part of it. But
Hindsight's
I guess
20/20.
what my point is, it's like you have to, or you hope to, the original question we had is like, are
Yeah.
your friends going to hold you accountable if you did do something shitty? Which like I've definitely had friends hold me accountable if I've like gone too far or like
I think
pushed.
that is a good friend too, because there's a fine line too
It's
of just
true.
letting things slide. Because you're like, oh, I'm a new friend. Like I don't know if we're on that level. But I think
Yeah.
if it's a true homie and you fucked up, like it's also their duty as a friend to acknowledge it,
Totally.
whether personally or for your friend, and just be like, yo,
Man, I love you, but like next time let's
Totally.
not
You
handle
have-
it like that.
totally.
So, I mean, and she was funny, like, when this was all rolling out, she goes, yeah, you can tell this on the podcast. I hope she remembers that sober, because we've exposed the story, but
who is the asshole? It sounds like a little bit of everything.
I think it's like, it's hard, because I only thought she was the asshole because of the way where, in my head, I was like, oh, it's your roommate, you guys are actually friends. You could have pulled her aside separately, just the two of you, into the house and been like, dude, I know you're upset that we can't have more people, but we're literally in a global pandemic. Let's compromise. I'll have just one of my friends stay tonight. You invite one more person and we'll just like make it a compromise. Next time you can have the backyard. Because that's the thing too. They share the backyard with the common space with the other neighbors. Yeah. So it's just like there were so many factors and there's different ways it could have played out.
Yeah. I feel like I have sometimes this problem too where I can like, I wouldn't even say it's like, oh, I have so much empathy. But it's like I can feel like I can understand multiple sides of the perspectives, and like I hear one person's story, I'm like, oh, I get why you did that. I can hear that other side and go, oh, I get why she reacted that way. Like it makes sense. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I get why both sides acted that way.
Yeah.
But I guess the question is too, like what's hard with these situations, if you hear that story or you read a Reddit post, hearing just that story, it's easy to pick a side or to kind of dissect the situation. But I think what's hard, this is a perfect example, is you have roommates which clearly have a backstory and some history. So it's like, you don't know if the past week this girl has been like, okay, I'm going to use the bathroom at this time. Can you like get your shower before? Whatever roommate issues it is.
Yeah.
And all week this girl has been using the shower and leaving a mess or not doing their part. And then this could have been the final straw when she's like, you're going to fight me on this now?
Which the third roommate that was standing there, because there's the three of them, she was like, oh my God, this is like so much pent up anger from other things.
Oh, so there was
which,
that.
Of course, makes sense, because any roommate fight is typically built on that, because people shove things under the rug and you're sharing space with these people daily, so it's like challenging. But I don't know, it was just an interest to be a fly on the wall, as I say, was a very interesting experience.
Drama. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone's the asshole.
But it's funny because it's like the first drama of out of COVID, and I was like kind of living.
Well, that's kind of part of it too. It's like everyone I think is so
pent up.
Well, yeah,
and bored.
Pent up. Everyone's been just dealing with things on their own, holding things in, not seeing people. You don't have that natural like therapy of just like talking to your friends and having that normal human interaction.
Totally.
And then built up with everyone's bored, so everything is
heightened.
Exactly, 10 times crazier. So it's all just a mess.
It really is. But yeah, hilarious to be a part
They're
of
the asshole. I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
We're all assholes sometimes. You know what? You got to live and let live. And
I think that's a part of it too, right? It's like
well, that's the thing. Everyone fucks up. I've been an asshole many of times, and I feel like perspective, or like mainly time. I look back on situations and I'm like, oh, now I see where I went wrong. In the moment though, it felt like I was living my truth.
Totally. It is hindsight 2020. Like once you have a bit of time and space away from a situation, you can usually track where you went awry, you know?
Oh, my favorite word.
Yeah. But it is true. There was this, we had a small little, so I was in London, Ontario this past week, just spending time with Adam's family. We hadn't really seen him since like the uproar of Corona. So it was like nice now that some of the rules have lifted a bit just to like go and visit. And we had some of Adam's like closest high school friends who've been like living out in London come just for a little Canada Day party. And speaking of am I the asshole? So one of Adam's close friends, who I love dearly, he's like the funniest guy ever, but also like the life of the party. Like, you know, the guy that just like steals the show. He totally has that personality. But it was like a day party, right? So like I feel like day drinks just flow different. Like, there's just like something different about them. But anyway, so he was kind of zesty, as I would say. And at one point it was so funny because he was just getting like excited, but I guess, and this might also just be a guy thing, like I guess because he was excited, the like physicality like his excitement was coming out in physicality. So it's like we had a cake and then he like went to like literally kick the cake out of someone's hand.
Oh, I get that. I think I kind of get like that, unfortunately.
and then at one point there was like a cup, and then he grabs the cups and he just like flips all the cups over, and it's like just hilarious in the moment,
but sometimes too much.
But then yes, when you're the one that's like more on the sober side of things, you're like, wait, why are you just like throwing things? Like, this is insane.
Sir, calm down.
But it was actually so funny and really cute to like see that group. It made me think about how I always thought that guys had different friendships with girls growing up. I was just under the impression that like,
what do you mean?
Like I always was under the impression that like girls would like sit around in a circle and like talk about boys because that's what we did. Like we were very like sleepover, like that was just like the vibe. And I always thought in my head, like, if I were to be a fly on the wall at the guys' party, that it would, like, somehow be different. Or, like, or it would
just
like
playing video game, like
yeah, or like
the typical
it would
idea.
feel different. But it was really funny because I had chatted obviously with a lot of the guys over the week that we had spent with them, and it made me realize that it was the exact same. Like one of the guys was telling a story about how Adam had brought me up in conversation before he had even met me, and they like all had a discussion about you know, dating and like all this stuff, and they'll like tell stories about how they met their girlfriends, and like you just, or maybe it is his friend group and he has an epic friend group, so maybe that's a part
maybe
of
it's
it.
really just been like the story we've been fed by media and like watching movies that like
like they're just
men
such like
don't have that sensitive side. It's like, that's not true.
And they were all like being nostalgic because Adam's parents are moving, so a lot of it was like kind of a goodbye to the house.
Aww.
Yeah,
so the final farewell.
Yeah, and they all grew up there, and they all went to elementary and high. Like they grew up in that spending their childhood basically together, and they were recalling like days where they would have snow days, and they'd all go and snowboard in the backyard, and it was so interesting just to like hear older guys talk about this like nostalgic like friendship vibe, and they're like, love you man, like we're leaving, he's like, love you man. I was like, whoa, like maybe I just got this
you
all
heard it here
wrong.
first. Men have emotions.
Maybe I just got it all wrong, or maybe these are just great guys. I can't really put a finger on it, but I really think it's a mix of the two.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't realize how sensitive guys were even at that time, like, and how aware they were of like.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's really just like society telling people to man up. You can't cry, and it's like, so. I mean, people try to mold into that, but it's like if you just let people be without any of these preconceived notions of what a man should be or what a woman should be, it's like...
I mean, let's be fair. They would say those stories and then 5 minutes later be like, oh yeah, the 3 times I cut my head open. So it's like a very fine balance of like jumping off roofs into pools and then also being like a sensitive guy. But it was just like a very funny like thing. It felt like summer camp, like, you know, when you're a kid and you hang out at summer camp.
And
yeah, it did kind of feel like one of those weeks just because it was... just
so
like a tight-knit group of people.
Would you say that was a rose?
Yes.
Guys, we're going to lead into some roses and thorns. You know we love it. Yes. So that's one rose. What other roses do you have?
So we go out to this little beach in St. Thomas, which is actually where, what's his name is from, that actor? Your face.
How am I going to get that? Give me something else. That actor.
Not Titanic. Oh my God, it's not Leonardo DiCaprio. Ryan Gosling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Or the girl, you know,
Rachel
McAdams. I think maybe she's from there. Anyways.
Wait, isn't Rachel McAdams from like here more?
Oh, okay, maybe he's the one that's from St. Thomas.
Don't know.
Anyway,
someone's from St. Thomas.
This very cute little town, and there's a beach right at the end of the town, and I don't know what it is, but we had gone there last summer, or the last few summers, we've done little trips out there, Adam and I, like, and it's usually Canada Day. I don't know why, we just have this, like, thing, it's, like, kind of a bit of a tradition that we go out there this week of year. So it's always, like, a beautiful summer day, and I don't know what the situation is, but something about the road, I'm pretty sure it's called Sunset Drive. The road into that town and into the beach, something's going on there. There's magic in the air, and, like, you know, windows down, music blasting.
I can picture it.
It's so perfect. We like stopped for ice cream, like just like a perfect serendipitous summer day. Like I get them once a year, and they're very special to me. So I was saying to the people last night,
taking you to Caledonia. We need to go.
Yeah,
Next weekend we should go.
Yeah, I was like, this is it. Like, and maybe because I am such a city girl, I really appreciate those moments because I don't get them very often.
Well, literally same though. The past a few weeks ago, I went into town and. I felt like I was back in high school, and like I went on a rollerblade, and just it was a beautiful day. And
so nice.
Yeah, you feel like whether it's like that movie summer day, or you're just
different.
Well, yeah, I just appreciate all the things that I was so accustomed to and so used to / took for granted / wanted to escape at the time.
Yeah, really.
And now I'm like, oh my God, this simplicity and just being outside in nature and like running through the fields in the backyard, like all of that is just like, oh wow, my like heart is so happy.
True. It's so true.
Any thorns or no?
I have to do a self-tape audition tomorrow, and something about self-tape auditions is so not it for me.
Do you film them here?
Well, I will go in. They've opened up some of the acting studios for self-tapes, which makes sense because you don't have to be that close to the reader. Like, they're like, you know, far away.
That's like one way that it would work.
The one way that it would work. So I'm going in person, which thankfully, because it's like 12 pages, so literally all night I'm just going to have to stand here and... sometimes when the auditions are such long sides, you're like, oh God, like, yeah.
Well, it's also like, is that much needed for a first audition?
I know.
Like, it's like, I get if maybe the callback.
I agree. Like, usually 4 or 5 pages feels like the perfect amount. This is like 12. So it's going to be an interesting evening.
Have you already memorized it?
No, I haven't even opened it yet. I'm going to do it all night because I have to go tomorrow. Yeah, it's not going to be fun. It shouldn't really be a thorn, but it's just like extra
No, I know
work,
what you mean.
You know?
It sometimes it's hard, the concept of auditions. Like you can put in 2,000,000%.
Well, that's what I'm probably going to
worth
spend 10 hours over the next 5 hours tonight and then 5 hours tomorrow morning memorizing and getting this perfected.
And it could be nothing.
And then it could be nothing.
Or it could be the pivotal life change.
Right.
That's what kind of keeps you going. It's like,
I know. I think that's the part of the industry that keeps you going. It's they always just string you along for more.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, thorn is that, oh my god, I have the most hilarious biker tan. Look at my thighs right now. Do you see this? Like,
oh yeah, a little bit.
I mean, it actually doesn't even look nearly as bad, but like, it's a pretty intense biker tan, short tan.
That's funny.
I've been bicycling, which is actually the rose, but the thorn is that now I have a hideous tan line.
That's funny.
It's just, yeah, it's kind of funny now. If I wear shorter shorts, you can just see that. I've got like a Bermuda length going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, another rose is, you know what? It was 33 degrees right now, or it currently is, and I biked here today.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't die as much as I thought I was.
Nice.
I was like...
Was there a bit of a breeze?
I wouldn't say so at all, actually. It was quite humid.
No breeze.
But I just, I biked. I didn't think about it too much because I'm a sweaty human, you know this. So I was like, oh, no, my hair, my makeup's going to just melt off. But I just enjoyed it.
Nice.
I was like, wow.
Love that.
Yeah, it was good. And then I'm looking forward to...
There's got to be something.
There's something. Oh my god, you know what I'm looking forward to?
What?
Bro, so my garden on my balcony is thriving, and my jalapenos are just a few days away.
Do you ever get worried that a bird's gonna swoop down?
Kind of. I saw one on my balcony the other day. I was like, get out of here! Don't eat my plants.
I'd get scared for that.
But to be fair, I think being on a balcony is much better because when I used to live in a house and have a proper garden, bugs and animals and squirrels, everyone.
It's at ground level.
Exactly.
You're up really high,
Exactly.
so no one's coming after you.
But to be fair, some birds have gone up there, but I haven't seen them nibbling. But I've definitely tried to get them away. But yeah, so hopefully I can make some jalapeno poppers or just some guacamole with fresh jalapeno. I'm just feeling good.
Love that. And that was another episode of Poddy Talk,
the podcast where we
disclose that we are the assholes.
I'm Jac.
And I'm Tor.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you soon.
See you on the flip.
Bye.